All right. Hey, all you spooky motherfuckers. It's Female Friday. And I'm going to talk about my personal paranormal encounters because I do believe in ghosts. Just because I've seen some shit and it's really creepy. And then I'm going to talk about some of the real life horror stories that I've lived through. And there's quite a few of them. Some of them get kind of deep. But before we get into that, I'm just going to wait for people to actually start viewing and for the chat to build up. And I know my hair looks like shit. It's been a long day. I got off work just a bit ago. I scrambled around for like 30 minutes trying to get ready for this. I had like a couple errands to run. I've got zits all over my face right now. I'm really uncomfortable. So yeah, we're just gonna wait for the chat to fill up and for people to join in before I start storytelling. I don't even know if Frost knows that I'm streaming right now. I sent him a message saying I'm about to go live up in this bitch. But he hasn't read it. Probably tell Payne to tell him. Wait, I also know Nate's streaming, so I might go in there and tell him to be my boyfriend real quick. But I also don't like Nate, so. Until someone shows up, I'll probably just sit around, play with some clay while I'm waiting. Some black clay, some ASMR. Or, everyone's just gonna ignore me and I'll get angry and be like, well, fuck you up to, bitches. It's my time. So yeah, I'll just kind of wait here maybe for about 5, maybe 6 minutes. I like 6 because I like the multiples of 3. I'm weird like that. Like 3 is my favorite number. Like 13 and 3 are some of my favorite numbers. Probably because my birthday is on the 3rd is in March. And my whole birthday is just a multiple of 3 because it's March 9th and I was born in 98. So it's literally 3, 3, and 3s. Like if you take 1998 divided by 3, it's 666, which is fun. It's fun. I swear it's fun. Yep. Just waiting for everything to come together right now. I'm gonna watch Superstore after this, or Titans, because fuck Batman. Or as I have been saying, it's fuck bitches get money. Any moment now, someone could show up, and I'm just sitting here talking, not caring about anything. Actually, I'm gonna really quick hop on to a different stream and get angry. No, I'm not gonna get angry. It's a joke. It's definitely a joke, and I can see myself being live on my own YouTube account, which is really weird, seeing myself live somewhere else. I get hair in my face, hair on my falls, hair on my falls. I don't know what I'm doing right now. Mm. Just waiting. Just waiting and waiting. Waiting for someone. This might be an asshole move, but I don't care. I'm gonna Google something. Wow, everyone's live in his subscription box. It's kind of weird. Oh, he stopped streaming just a minute ago. How fun. He only had 2 views. I'm still waiting for someone to show up. I don't think anyone's gonna show up. And this isn't gonna be like a long stream because my dad is making waffles and I really like myself some waffles. Like when my sister told me, I literally just said, "Fuck yeah, waffles." And she looked at me and said, "I did the same thing in the exact same whiny ass voice." Alright, I don't think anyone's gonna join us, so I'll just go ahead and get right into it anyways because I'm that kind of person. Like, I don't even think Russ is gonna watch my own stream, which kind of sucks because I do this for him, but oh well, because I try to get him views. Alright, so let me think. The earliest paranormal encounter I can actually think of that I had was when I was like, I want to say I was 6. Because in the next town over, there's this old movie theater. It's just literally the state theater. And like it's literally was built in the 20s. It's really old. It's really kind of creepy in there anyways when you walk in. It's only got like 2 areas to watch a movie. And my grandparents used to take me there all the time as a kid because that was the closest theater to us. And whenever we spent the night or anything, we were like, oh, let's go watch a movie. So I watched like a lot of early childhood movies there. Like I watched the Spiderwick Chronicles. I think I watched Narnia there, but like I know I watched The Incredibles there because I remember that. So like I was a really young kid watching all this stuff. Well, and it's really creepy because it's got all this like red velvet everywhere. Like the walls are all red, the floor's all red, so everything's like this deep blood red. So it's already kind of like, and it smells because it's old. So when you're like 6 years old, you're already kind of creeped out. Well, either way, I had to go to the bathroom after, I don't even remember what movie it was, but I went to the bathroom and I went upstairs and I went to the bathroom, washed my hands, and I was getting out to leave. And I stopped because there was this vent system right in front of the door, and there was a little girl inside the vents. And I'm just kind of like, oh my god, there's another kid, because I was 6. This girl looked to be about 6. I know she had like dark hair and dark like brown eyes, and she had like a little purple flower in her hair, and I just remember this so vividly. And I looked at her and I said hi because I was 6 and I didn't know. I'm like, are you okay? Are you stuck? And she didn't say anything. She just stared at me, and I'm like, okay, that's that's not weird. And I went to go tell my grandma. I was like, Grandma, there's a little girl in the vents. And she just kind of looked, was like, it's not real. Or there's something like wrongs of not real or anything. You're just thinking of things. I'm like, but Grandma, no, there's someone in vents. And she's like, yeah, well, the owner put her there. And he puts bad little girls in there if they don't behave in his theater. And after that, I behaved sure as hell in the theater because I was scared because I was like, I don't want to end up in the vents. I don't want to be like the vent girl. And my grandma doesn't remember any of this because about it's 2018 now. About a year ago when I was taking my senior photos for school, I just remember there being I don't know why I said I just remember, but I remember doing my school photos for my senior year, and the photographer was taking pictures of me. He was trying to get me to talk because apparently I talk with my hands like I'm doing right now. Hey, CV, I'm talking about my real life horror stories. I was talking with my hands and everything, and I started talking about my ghost encounter in Mistake Theater, and he's like, he literally stopped and looked, and he's like, "Are you being serious right now?" I'm like, "Yeah, I actually saw this," and he's like, "Okay, because that place is like supposed to be crazy haunted." I'm like, "What?" And he's like, "Yeah, we do ghost tours there sometimes, and one of the ghosts up there is supposed to be a little girl." I'm like, "You're kidding, right?" He's like, "No." I'm like, "Okay, well, I saw her, and now I'm actually terrified to go there." Because later that year I had a craft show that I did because I used to make earrings all the time. Like, actually, I have some right here. Like, I used to make earrings and stuff, so I was selling earrings. Like, these are my Kirby's, and I just remember being scared the entire time. I was like, there's a little girl ghost here, and I don't want to do this right now. I didn't make any money last night. Everyone was drunk, so I didn't buy anything. Actually, I have another fun story. That was the first time I was offered beer by anyone. Was at that craft show. Like my favorite teacher's husband, who also helped manage all the quiz bowl stuff because I was in quiz bowl and he was one of the managers there. And I'm like, sir, you know who I am. You know I'm in high school. Why are you offering me a beer? And also, my dad is behind me. And he's like, oh yeah, you're a kid. And so I didn't get any beer, which is good because I didn't need to drink underage. But yeah, that was just like one of the first earliest ghost encounters I can remember, which was creepy. And of course, my house is also kind of crazy haunted anyways. And I've had some feelings in there. Like it was just my sister and I home alone. We were putting away dishes, and we were putting away cups in the cupboard. And she shuts the door, and I'm like, "Hey, yo, don't shut that door. We have more stuff to do." And so she opens it, and we hear all of us like clanking in there. We're like, okay, is there a mouse or something in there? And just in that instance, a cup came flying out at Kitty. And we're just kind of like, okay, that's creepy because we just put that away and it was in the back of a cupboard and now it's flying out at us. And after that, we hightailed it to my grandparents who live down the road. Because we're like, oh no, that's not creepy. And this April of this year, I was sitting at home alone. I was unemployed this time, so I was already kind of depressed. And I was sitting down. I was watching The Office. I'll be more specific. I was watching The Office, and out of the corner of my eye, I see my great grandmother walk across the door frame, and it's creepy because it was like plain as day. I could hear her humming and singing, and like she was wearing her favorite blue nightgown, and I just kind of froze. It was like, okay. And like 15 minutes go by, and I just kind of went, okay, because I just processed everything, and I was like freaking out. So I hightailed to my grandma's house, burst open through the door. I was like, Coco, what's wrong? And I'm like, oh, nothing, except I just saw your dead mother, Grandpa. And he's like, what? And I'm like, I just saw your dead mom in my house. She's a ghost. And he's like, oh, okay. And I was like crying because I didn't know what to do because I was like, no. Ghosts, man. And like she visits us often, and it's weird because I'll be doing something, like I'll be playing a video game on my Xbox, and all of a sudden I smell my great grandma's perfume. Okay, hi great grandma, what do you want this time? And at this moment I'm going to take a drink. Oh shit, okay, that was different. My Yeti just kind of came apart. It's because of all the CO2 from my carbonated beverage of choice, and I'm not gonna say what it is because hashtag not spawn. So good. But either way, it was just kind of like that just must be a great thing to have your granddaughter burst through the door and just be like, "Oh, nothing's going on except I saw your dead mother who's been dead for like 11 years, who's buried like half a mile away from the house." That's probably why we got ghosts. The graveyard is literally right across the highway. But yeah, those are just like it also literally took me 15 minutes to realize I just saw a ghost. That's not right. They're dead. So yeah. Ghosts are weird. This isn't a ghost story, but it's still kind of a horror story. When I was like, I had to have been like 12, maybe 11. I was it was Halloween, and my dad and stepmom, who are no longer together, thank God, were fighting, and it was just it was really bad because they're like, "Oh, we missed the Halloween parade," blah 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 blah, and fighting and just getting into it, and it's just miserable because I just wanted to go trick or treating like really badly. Well, they got so bad that they pulled over, and my son was like, "All the kids out of the car," and they're just really angry, and I didn't even like my stepmom, but I did anyways because I knew if I didn't, I'd get smacked. So either we were all out of the car. It's cold. I'm dressed up as a Daisy Witch, and I had a short skirt on and tights, so it was freezing, and wearing booted and heel boots, and that's not fun. And we were like 2 to 3 miles away from my house, and they started screaming at each other. And she's like, "Let's just go," and I'm like, "Fuck, I ain't going with you. I don't even like you." So I went to tell my dad, go with my dad, and my dad literally looked at me, shoved. Oh, he shoved me because he was angry. He's like, "You can't come with me," and everything. Just like it wasn't like hard enough to throw me on the ground, but it was like enough for me to give a point. And I was like, "What? I can't go with you, Dad?" And I was crying at this point. And so he's like, "No." And so he drove off angry. And my sister, my stepbrother, my stepmom, and my other stepsister had already gotten a head start. So I literally walked home alone in the dark on Halloween. And there were coyotes. It was really terrifying because it's just pitch black. There was no stars. There was no moon. There are no lights, and I was miserable, and it was cold. My feet hurt. My dad felt terrible afterwards, and he still apologizes for it often, but it was just like one of those things that really sucked. Because it's like, why would you make a 12-year-old kid walk home alone in the dark for 3 miles? Yeah, so that was a really shitty thing. And the other horror story was a time that I ran away from home. Yeah, I know it sounds terrible, but like my stepmom and I did not get along, and we'd fight constantly. And I was younger than 13 too, so like the whole a grudge against a kid that young is really kind of messed up. But like, she didn't like me from the get go, or the get go, whatever floats your boat. But either way, she didn't like me, and she would try to get me in trouble or do things to me like for no reason. Like half the time I was starved, which is why I was so skinny as a kid, and why now I have eating problems now where I eat everything and anything that I can just because I value food so much, and that's why I'm fat. And also because I ate my feelings. But we're getting off topic. Well, either way, it was for some dumb reason I was in trouble again, and I was literally she'd smacked me across the face and threw me into a corner where I had to stand there for like 2 hours, and I was just kind of standing there thinking the entire time. I was like, I'm not doing this anymore. I'm not doing this anymore. I'm leaving. I am leaving tonight. And right after I was like allowed to leave, I packed my bag. I grabbed my favorite stuffed animal. I grabbed my coat. Like my bag was just my school supplies, because I figured I still needed to go to school. And I figured I don't really have a place to run away to, so I'll just go to my grandparents. And that's what I did. But sneaking out of the house was like super stressful because she was running around everywhere. So I literally just slipped out somehow, and I didn't look back, and I went straight to my grandparents. The entire time I'm crying, I'm freaking out. 'Cause it's like, I'm gonna get in so much trouble. I'm going to get s I'm probably gonna get beaten again. Either way, I made it. I told my grandparents met me in the front yard, were like, "What are you doing?" And I'm like, "I'm done. I'm just done. I can't do this anymore. I can't." Literally, pretty much, I can't even. It was it was crazy. We called my dad, of course, because they're responsible adults, and we're like, "Hey, your daughter's here. What do you want us to do with her?" And he's like, "Hold on, I'm coming." And it was like a hour long conversation of what are we gonna do with her? Or like, can you bring my sister here because she doesn't need to be there because that woman's a monster. That still didn't result in divorce. It took like another year. But but I spent the night there, and that afternoon when I got home after school, my stepmom looked at me, threw me against the dishwasher, and said a bunch of really terrible stuff, and is like, if you ever try to run away again, you'll end up in foster care. And I'm like, what's foster care? Because I'm a dumb 12-year-old who doesn't know what foster care is. And she's like, you'll be raised by other people and they'll treat you terribly, just as terribly as I do. I'm like, oh no. And of course, I'm a dumb kid who knows how the system works now, and that's not how it works. Always, they try to give you to a family member first. Half the time, if there's family members willing to take you. Um, like I think a couple days later, it was early in the morning. We were getting ready for school, and she starts screaming at me again. And I look at her like, "Oh, run away again!" And she's like, "Do it, and I'll call the cops." And of course, I'm a dumb kid. I was like, I should have just let her call the cops because the cops would have seen what was going on and have been like, "Oh, hey, this kid needs help. This woman's a mess. This woman should probably be in jail." But yeah, it was a weird situation. More horror stories is that she loved going to haunted houses, and I literally hated it. And her and my dad literally had to drag me by the legs sometimes to get me to go into them. I mean, it's not that scary, but I mean, like, I can't do haunted houses without having a mental breakdown now. Like the last time we went to a haunted house, it was with Frost and Kitty and a friend of Kitty's, and we're like, come on. If we were in Frost is like, if I ride all the roller coasters, you have to go for the haunted house. And I'm like, but I don't want to, but I want to see you ride the roller coasters. And finally, after he rode all of them, I had to own up and do the haunted house. And I was literally holding myself, shaking and crying because I didn't want to. They finally looked at me, he's like, you go for the chicken exit. Just go for the next chicken exit. You can't. We're sorry. And I'm literally crying outside, and they're having a good time. They went through the secret balcony where the split at the haunted house. They were like, "Hey!" And I'm like, "Don't look at me. I'm crying right now." It was bad. It was also funny now that I look back on it. Kitty also lost her wallet while we were there at this amusement park, and she was having it. That was another horror story. She was like freaking out. I was like, "Oh my god, I lost my wallet." Hi, I'm Coco Havoc. I'm Frost's girlfriend, and I do streams here every Friday. And your whole thing is upside down. That's really creepy. That is spooky. But yeah, that's just a whole other situation because we got off this ride called the Scrambler, and Kitty looks at. We got off a ride called the Scrambler, and then later on down, we were doing something else, and Kitty looks at us like, guys, I don't. It was a falling star. She looks like, guys, I don't have my wallet, and we're like, fuck, we gotta find your wallet. So we're scrambling all over this amusement park to find her wallet, and her and Frost ran up ahead because they're skinny ass pricks and they can actually run. So me and Kitty's friend, I'm gonna call her Cow just because she really likes cow. So Cow and I were looking for the wallet on the ground just to see if we can retrace the steps, and we're like, well, let's go to the Scrambler and see if it's there. And this guy had it, and we're like, oh sweet, we found her wallet. We better go bring it back to her. And I tried calling her, and she won't. It's terrible service at this park. So I'm trying to get a hold of her, and it's coming in broken up bits. And I'm like, fish. We're near the fish. We're by all these fish. 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 And I'm just repeating fish into the phone, and she's probably like, what the fuck is this? And finally, Frost came up to me and was like, fish? And I'm like, yes, fish. I found her wallet. And so he's like, oh my God, you found her wallet. And so she's at the information desk trying to fill out her information so she can get her wallet again if someone finds it. And I literally walk up behind her and I have a wallet in my hand and I just go, don't lose me again, kitty. I like you and I have all your money. She just grabbed my wallet and kind of punched my arm. I was like, don't do it. That scared me. I'm like, well, yeah, but I thought we found it. So it's all good. Um, oh, what's another horror story that I lived through? Okay. I don't know if you guys know about this place, but it's called Kings Island. And there's sometimes advertisements. It's like kind of a big thing where I live just because it's so close. And everyone's like, hey, and it's the same with Indiana Beach. They're like, hey, you want to go to Indiana Beach? Which is usually Indiana Beach because it's closer, but Kings Island's far more cooler, but it's far more expensive, and we're poor as fuck. But it's just kind of like, hey, Kings Island. And my school does a field trip for all the seniors there when your senior year, and I got to go because I was a senior and I actually graduated, which I didn't want to go through the whole graduation process because I didn't care. But either way, we were having a lot of fun. It was just me and this other girl because we're both the antisocial kids in the school, and we didn't like anyone in our class, and no one liked us. So we're like, hey, let's just hang out, have a good day, just kind of do whatever. And we were, and we were waiting in line for like this really cool action car roller coaster, and this guy behind us starts chatting us up, and I'm like, okay, this is kind of getting awkward. And if you're I know a lot of guys will understand this, and some girls might not, but it's kind of scary being a girl because guys sometimes don't know when to let up and they can freak out. Like, I don't know. It's hard to really explain, but it can be really kind of nerve-wracking to be a girl sometimes. But I'm sure it's for same thing for a guy, but I personally wouldn't know because I'm not a dude. But this guy would not leave us alone, and he's like asking me all these questions like, where are you from? I'm like, a place. Literally, he's trying to pick me up, and I'm not having it because at this time I was dating someone. And I just that'd be another story, but either way, I'm literally not having it. And he's like, oh, but give me your number. I'm like, no. And he's like, well, I'm from like the Great Lakes area. I'm like, yeah, that's a little too far. It wouldn't work. And so we get on this roller coaster, and he sits right behind us in the same car, and we're just kind of like, no, okay, this has gotten a lot more unenjoyable. And afterwards, we try to ditch him. He followed us, which is even creepier, and he keeps trying to ask us for our numbers and everything. And I'm like, well, at this time I was 19, so I'm 19, so it wouldn't work out. He's like, oh no, I'm 18. I'm like, ugh. Finally, we ran into a group of guys from our school, and one of them's like really cool. So I walked up to him, hugged him, and I said, "Babe, hey, it's good to see you." And I literally whispered, "Help me." And he played along with it like a champion. He's like, "Hey, you trying to hit on my girlfriend?" He's like, "No, I'm sorry. I didn't realize she was dating. Like, that's your problem, bro." And after he finally left, I looked at him like, "Thank you." He's like, "No problem. I do it for anyone." So yeah, that was just really kind of creepy and really terrifying. At least for me personally, because I've also never been hit on in public before that. And I didn't know how to react just because I'm me, and a lot of people don't like to hit on me unless you're Frost for some reason. Mm. Another real good horror story was was my last relationship before Frost. Let me give me a second. I need to take a sip. That's good. But another really creepy thing that was the last guy that I dated who kind of turned into a stalker. It's just really creepy. Like some of the messages he's sent me, which I might be able to pull up. Let me see. Let me see about this because these can be kind of creepy sometimes. But either way, I dated this guy 3 times, which was a mistake. And I didn't like that. Alright. Where are we in? Okay, this guy I dated him straight on for 2 years. Then I dumped him because he was a lazy bum, and then that exploded because he had anger issues, and he really, really blew up. Like, I started getting death threats. I started getting like, his stepmom messaged me and started threatening to beat the shit out of me, and she never liked me to begin with, that's okay. But, after that, like, I've got some of them saved just because they're from, Hangouts, and I'm just gonna read some of these. Let me adjust my legs real quick. This is awkward. Alright. Alright, and some of these are really long. This is from February 13th, which is the day before Valentine's Day, 2016, so this was about 2 years ago. Um, "Hey, Coco, can I talk to you? I just at least wanna be your friend," and at this point, I don't wanna be his friend because this happened because we broke up about 10 days earlier, and it was messy, and he, like, threatened to kill me and all this stuff. So I ignored that. No, I don't think I saw these until, like, a couple months ago because I didn't realize. Um, that was at 13, and then he sent another one at, 11:43, which is it's long, and it's really sad. Actually, this sad one doesn't really care. This really sucks. Oh god. But yeah, basically we start really sad and everything, and then he gets angry. The next day he starts getting angry. "Look, I'm trying to be friends with you. Why do you have to be immature about this right now? People are right. You are a kid, a little girl, not a grown ass teenager." 2 years ago, I was 18. This guy was insane. Then I think he was okay. Like I think he got homeless after he went homeless for a while, and they started saying, "Hey, take me back, please." I'm like, "No." Oh, this is when he started blowing up, was in March. He goes, "Oh, unlike you, what you do, I get paid more money than you within a week. So why don't you also get off your lazy ass and go job hunting, lol." Smiley face. "From your friendly neighborhood psychopath that you left for blank," because I don't like saying the R word, "reasons. Since you are insecure about yourself." Squinty eye face. "Have fun being a spoiled little bitch and a daddy's girl when trouble arises for you, and having to rely on people more than your own skills. Besides, at least I am working at a real job workplace." I was also 18, living in the middle of nowhere and couldn't drive, so it was kind of hard to get a real job. "As for you, you only clean your grandparents' house as if you are a common housemaid." So I kinda will be working as a housemaid again, which I'm kinda excited about because I actually do like cleaning, but, "Final regards to you and hopes you catch an STD from someone who loves you and leaves you, or in hopes you are for alone forever with only poor choices. You done running through your thoughts, eating away at you until you kill yourself. You clearly remember me being that dickhead from long while ago, and now I'm back, but much worse than before when you and I first met. Now I don't give a shit what happens to you." And I was trying to be civil in the messages you and I were sending over here through Gmail, but again, as I said, I was being mature about it while you weren't. Smiley face. So knowing how you are with guys, you will guys find you ugly. Nah, I can't read his text messages. "So knowing how you are and how guys find you ugly in terms from your mouth, fucking die by cutting your damn wrist or something. Or be a grown up and admit you screwed up for leaving someone that adored you." Squinty eye face. "As I said, I loved you no matter what, but that has died, and everyone I talked to you about what you are." what you did, calls you a using bitch, and are wanting to kick your ass for mistreating you this way. Let's hope that if you do find someone, let's see how you like being changed from them as you changed me. Squinty eye face. Literally, what you did, what your worthless ex blank did, but to me. Yeah. It just goes on. Like, another one he says, P.S. You're of age now, so if you try to come up here and start crap, you will get prosecuted for trying to fight on our properties. Same with any of your family members. Kisses, ciao. I didn't want to go to his house to begin with. Then he said something, so don't mind this. I just typed that out of anger. And of course, I heard rumors from one of Frost's friends that worked with him that he got like arrested. And of course, I'm like, really? This is solid gold. So I'm looking for an arrest warrant, and I couldn't find one, and I got pissed. So I literally kept hunting and looking, and I couldn't find it. So I did the next best thing. I messaged him. Bad idea. Bad idea. And it was a bad idea. Let me take a sip real quick before I get into this because the tea is hot. Now, I texted him and he's like, no, I didn't get arrested. I'm like, what? That sucks. Because I was told you were arrested. And it kind of went back and forth. And we actually had a normal conversation. And it stays normal and everything, which is surprising. And then he's like, so what was the reason? This is for him. So he's like, so what was the reason for you to message me other than that instant? Out of concern, maybe? And I'm like, no, I just wanted the tea. So I told him, like, no, I was just sick curiosity and frustration out of lack of results from my hunt. He's like, so you're stalking me, eh? That's kind of hot. I'm like, no, I was just looking for your arrest warrant if there was one. And he's like, oh, well, I'm far too clever to get arrested. And I'm like, okay. And then I said something about finding his sister's arrest warrant, and I forgot the apostrophe. And he's like, I only have one sister, remember? I'm like, I'm sorry, I'm tired. And he's like, you still working at McDonald's? And I'm like, no. No, I'm like, no, it's government work. And he's like, oh, well, that sucks. And then he starts talking about the government and how the government's corrupt and everything. And it's like, haha, this is literally what I said, haha, the government is a false sense of security for people to grasp a hold of, but so easily corrupted. Well, hence why Trump is president. And he's just kind of like, that's, and just going on about this rant about the government. And I showed this to not Kitty, Bunny, because she understands this situation because she's been there since the beginning, and she's like, this sounds like my dad. My dad sucks about how corrupt the government is. Why does he sound like my dad? I'm like, I don't know. And then he starts to get a little creepier because I'm like, he's asking what I do. I'm like, I told him that I test water and all this and everything, and I work in a laboratory, kind of. And then he goes, then later synthesis the water into the next evolution by deconstructing its molecules and reconstructing new ones to make acid to only inject it to people. Only to inject it to people that dare to litter the area and give their bodies to the earth. And that's a form of hell to also fertilize the earth with the corpse of a victim of science. And I'm like, no, that's not what I do. And he goes, oh, but it's so easy but it's so easy to take a life though. No remorse. Humans are all cattle to be slaughtered. You know the biggest rapist is life because it'll fuck everyone in the end. And I'm like, what the fuck? How did I date you for 2 years straight and then some? And I literally just kind of went, I think I'm gonna go to bed later, trying to end this conversation. And then he sends this really long really long paragraph, and he goes, all of these thoughts are from a man that evolved his mind and realized that every meaningful moment and emotion are false and cause fear. Like recently, a day before yesterday, my dad's cousin died from leukemia, but I shed no tear. Because everyone dies, because God hates his creatures, but Satan wants to liberate them from the false God. I can't help but laugh at this. Even you aren't safe. No one is. Everyone knows not to tempt fate when they meet me. But I gave up everything other than my own life. Ha ha ha. Remember the message from Gmail still. Eventually it'll happen, but it may not be from me, but from a creature of nature. Smiley face. Anything happens and hell will reclaim this world. Night, ha ha ha. And I'm just kind of like, I literally just replied, what the fuck? And then he sent an even longer paragraph. Oh, you have no idea how far I have evolved mentally. I can't say any of this without laughing. Knowing how to kill and get away with it. Reconstruction of liquids into dangerous concoctions of destruction. Death and mayhem. Ha 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 ha. Every day I can think about how to dispose you too. ... Well, 3. Heh heh heh. Because he thinks I have a kid. It's a long story. So easy a life can be snuffed out. Yet God does nothing to protect since he's a false lord. Madness infect all, and I can embrace the madness no matter how hard everyone tries to live. It'll go downhill. Life eventually grabs him by the throat and says no one leaves. I grabbed my life by the throat and crushed its windpipe. And said no one controls my life and the commander of hell. Only Satan, ha ha ha. Embracing the pain and evil causes good. Pain doesn't even exist due to the brain causing it its false sense of humanity. Remember, Coco, smiley face. Death comes in unpredictable ways, even to whom you are close to. And then it continues. Night, night, winky face. Don't let the bugs fester on you to bite. Ha ha ha. What is my life? What is my life? But like this guy is super creepy. Like there's more that I could probably find if I hunted through my deep recesses of my email. Just because he's creepy. Like, let me see if I can find anything. No, that's for myself. Never mind. I don't understand any of this. Like, why? 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 But yeah, like after I dumped him the third and final time, which is another fun story because I was at work and he sent me a text saying, "Hey, just so you know, I'm starting to save up for an engagement ring for you." And I'm like, huh. So I sent him a text saying, "Don't do that because we're done. Save yourself the money." And he started sending me all these texts like, "What the fuck is wrong with you? Why would you break up with me now? What did I do?" I'm like, it just needs to be done. I told you this wasn't gonna last. This is just for fun. Because the third time around, I'm like, fuck it, I don't care. It's not gonna last. I'm not marrying him. He's fucking insane. But I'm horny. That's literally what it was. And that was wrong, but oh well, I did that anyways. So either way, I told him, no, we're done. And then after that, I had 3 days off of work. He went to the place I worked each day and waited for me, which is creepy, and you should never do that. But it's just kind of like, I saw the text messages finally. I was like, I'm waiting for you. Where are you? I'm like, well, I don't work today. And then he did it again next day. He's like, "Where are you?" I'm like, "I don't work today either." And then third day, he's like, "Are you don't? When do you work again?" I don't know. Not telling you. It was, it was something. It was something fun. But yeah, that was that was a very interesting time in my life, and I don't think I will ever do that again because that was a something. That was definitely a something. Ah, definitely something. Ah, life's weird. Very weird. All right. I'm going to end the stream now because I don't really have anything else to say. Next week, I'll have to figure out how to be entertained without ghost stories, which is going to be fun. But I want to go get some waffles because I'm a hungry bitch and I'm always a slut for waffles. So have a wonderful Halloween. Stay safe. Don't date anybody crazy and be careful out there because the world is a dangerous place. So I will see you guys